What's up YouTube, my name is Pedro and welcome back to the channel where we never turn off the console. Today I'm bringing you a game that it's not the most recent game to be released, but it's a 2016 game and I think I should talk about it because it was the last game that I played. I'm talking about Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. But before we start with the review, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upload that I do to YouTube, drop a like on the video and comment down below your thoughts about this game. And without further ado, let's get into my honest opinion about Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Uncharted 4 is a game that I was dying to play. I'm a big fan of the three first games, so I was waiting to put my hands on a PS4 so I could complete the saga. Now that I own a PS4 and I finished the game, I just have to say, wow! This game is everything that an Uncharted fan wishes for. It is packed with lots of action, great storytelling, and it is visually awesome. But this game takes a different turn in terms of main plot. The treasure hunting is no longer the priority in the narrative, to give a bigger spotlight to Nathan Drake's story. In the previous games, Nate was a treasure hunter that monkey jumped his way throughout impossible looking scenarios so he could find the next clue that would lead him to the treasure that he was searching for. Well, in this game Nate is retired from that type of work. Now he works for a salvage company and tries to enjoy living his boring married life alongside Elena while daydreaming about his past adventures. Only for one day to be totally amazed by the fact that he has a brother named Sam. Maybe not as amazed as I was because this was never mentioned in previous games. Are you going to tell me that after 3 main games, Nate never had time to tell anyone, not even his wife, that he has a brother? In my opinion, this came a little bit out of nowhere, Naughty Dog. But okay, let's see where it goes. So Nate has a brother that is alive after he thought that he saw him die 15 years ago during a breakout of a Panamanian prison that they entered to search for the treasure of the pirate Henry Avery. The truth is that Sam didn't die and he had spent those 15 years in jail, the same prison that Nate escaped with their partner at the time, Rafe, the main antagonist of this game. Reunited once again, Sam tells Nate that he got out of prison with the help of a drug lord called Hector Alcazar, that now is threatening to kill him if he doesn't find the treasure of the pirate Henry Avery, the same treasure that Nate and Sam were trying to find back in the old days, but because of the events that led to their separation, never had the possibility to do it. That was just the perfect excuse for Nate to get back in his old adventurous self and along the way save his brother from the evil hands of Alcazar. But before that, Nate, how about you lie to your wife by telling her that you have a salvage job in Malaysia?
Looks like I'm gonna take that Malaysia job after all.
That won't backfire at all. And here they go, the two brothers reunited once again trying to find the lost treasure of the pirate Henry Avery. So you embark on a journey throughout multiple locations and I have to say that all of them look gorgeous. This game possibly has the most beautiful views that you will ever find in a video game. From time to time I would stop the progression just to have a look around. It is amazing how awesome everything looks and it is so realistic that you almost feel like you are on those spots on vacation. You just want to climb up the highest point, move the camera around and take it all in. I have to say that Uncharted 4 is one of the most astonishing games that I have ever played. And if you think that this is only because of the beautiful views, you are wrong, because everything is amazing in this game in terms of visuals. The detail, like the lights and the water, are top notch, the gunfire, the explosions and the facial expressions are extremely well done. Everything is done in a way that it will impress you. But the thing that is most impressive are the action sequences. Okay, that is something that we should expect from an Uncharted game. It is already a trademark of the series, but in this game the action sequences are turned up to 1000. The buildings cracking down, the chasing sequences, the near-death experiences that Nate has to go through, they are all on a next level of adrenaline when compared to the previous games. Gameplay-wise, it follows the same mechanics of the other Uncharted games, but with some improvements here and there to make it feel as smooth as possible. In terms of movements, Nate still has the same style of climbing, jumping around from platform to platform, but in this game we have a new addition, the grappling hook, that fits perfectly in the game style and you can see it almost like the webs that Spider-Man uses. With the grapple, Nate can lock into different points in the environment and use it to swing himself from one point to another, and even can use it to attack enemies. Another improvement in terms of gameplay is the shooting mechanic. Now the aim is much more precise and shooting a gun feels realistic, something that was lacking on the previous game. The recoil when you fire a gun was odd to say the least. Now it's perfect. The story of the game is quite engaging. Although Naughty Dog inserted a new character out of nowhere, they did a good job to make Sam feel important and not out of place. No, it is not the best story in gaming history. Well, you just need to compare it to The Last of Us. But it does its job pretty well, keeping you engaged from start to finish. And the biggest contribution for this engagement is the amazing voice acting. The dialogues are extremely fluid and you can feel exactly the emotions on the tones of the characters. For example, you can see the sad tone that Nate had while he was working on the salvage company, just thinking on his past adventures, and the excitement that he gets when he goes into the new one alongside his brother Sam looking for that pirate's treasure. The bad guys are another point that makes this game so interesting. The first one is Rafe Adler, a wealthy businessman with an extremely punchable face. Look at that face! Am I the only one that wants to beat him up? And he wants to claim Henry Avery's lost treasure for himself to prove that he is superior to Nathan Drake. For that, he joins forces with Nadine Ross, the muscle of the pair, so badass that she can beat up Nate and Sam at the same time. Two great characters that you will be racing all the way until you find the treasure. The puzzles in this game are really nice and well designed. They are not that difficult, but I don't see it as a bad thing, because this way it doesn't cut the pace of the game. It only gives a nice change of pace from the climbing and shootouts. I love the way that the different clues are connected. It is logical and well thought, and it is so cool the historical references that are used not only in this game but throughout all the Uncharted franchise. The soundtrack is good and it fits well in the game's tone, but I have to say that it's not the most memorable soundtrack from this franchise. In my opinion, that title still goes to Uncharted 2. That one is epic. Another thing that I love on this game was the small touch that was to incorporate a Crash Bandicoot level for you to play and try to beat Helena high score. I know that this was Naughty Dog rubbing in our faces that they will not make another Crash Bandicoot game, but I have to say that I love this detail and it is always nice to see my favorite video game mascot, even if it is just in a small amount like it was here. But one thing that let me down in this game was the final boss battle. This part might have major spoilers, so if you don't want to listen, please skip to the timestamp that I'm putting right here on the screen. So, the last fight in this game is a sword fight against Rafe, and basically you need to learn a new mechanic right there on the spot. That was never introduced in any part of the game prior to this point. So basically you don't need to use any of the skills that you have been gathering all throughout the game. In my opinion, it isn't challenging enough. I got through it in my first try, and that made me feel a little bit robbed of an epic ending. Visually speaking, it is incredible, and I understand the concept of a battle until the end like a true pirate, but for me it is underwhelming. It didn't give me that true satisfaction of gathering all the gameplay expertise until that point and finishing off the main villain. You could put this battle in the first sequence of the game and you will have the same outcome. Yes, I know it fits well with the story and probably many of you are okay with it, but for me was a little bit of a disappointment. But this doesn't take anything away from the great game that Uncharted 4 is. If you want an Indiana Jones-like experience, this is the perfect game for you. Lots of action, lots of platforming, lots of puzzles, and lots of fun. And the perfect ending to the amazing saga of Nathan Drake. If you own a PS4, I truly recommend you play this game. This is a must-own title, especially now in 2020 that you can get this game for 20 euros or less if you get it on sale. So, with all things considered, and after finishing the main story that took me approximately 15 hours to do it, I gave Uncharted 4 A Thief's End my rating of 9 out of 10. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed the review. Let me know in the comments your thoughts about Uncharted 4. Do you think that this is still one of the best games that you can buy for the PS4? Or do you think there are too many games that are better than this one? I love you all for staying until this point, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye!